Hi everybody, in this video we are going to go over how to remember trig values. The two special triangles, 3690 triangle and 4545, 1, 2, radical 3, 1, 1, radical 2. And from here we are going to define sine, cosine, tangent. Sine of A equals opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of A equals adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent of A equals opposite over adjacent. So we have so tangent of A equals sine over cosine. Cosecant of A equals 1 over sine of A. Secant of A equals 1 over cosine of A. From the two special triangles, we are going to have our values for sine, cosine, tangent for all the special angles in the first quadrant. So 0, 30, 45, 60, 90 in radians will be 0, pi over 6, pi over 4, pi over 3, and pi over 2. Sine, cosine, everything is over 2. Square root of 0, square root of 1, square root of 2, square root of 3, and square root of 4. This will give us 0, 1/2, and 1. Cosine will be flipped. Everything is over 2. Square root of 4, square root of 3, square root of 2, square root of 1, and square root of 0. That's 1, 1/2, and 0. And tangent equals sine over cosine. So this gives us 0, square root of 3 over 3, 1, square root of 3, and undefined. We also need to know the conversion between degrees and radians. So from degree to radians, x equals theta times pi over 180. And radians to degree, x equals theta times 180 over pi. One, two, three. Another important concept. 1, 2, 3. We also need to know the sign chart. So all students take calculus. So all means sine, cosine, tangent. And sine, 1, 2, 3. S means sine, 1, 2, 3. S means sine. And the T means tangent. C means cosine. So this gives us only this tells us 1. We also need to know the sign of all the trig functions. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. All functions sine, cosine, tangent are positive in the first quadrant. Only sine is positive. Tangent is positive in the third quadrant, and in the fourth quadrant, only cosine. That's why we have all students take calculus. Combined with coterminal angles and reference angle, we can solve any special trig values. So coterminal angles. So any angle with the same terminal side is a coterminal angles. We can go clockwise or counterclockwise. For example, 20 degrees, we add 360. We get 380 degrees. We minus 360. We get negative 340. These are all coterminal angles. Of course, we can keep adding, and subtracting. Pi over 6. We can add plus or minus 2 pi or multiple of 2 pi's. We can get 13 pi over 6 and negative 11 pi over 6. Those are all coterminal angles. Reference angles. Depends on which quadrant the angle is in. We have different reference angle. In the first quadrant, this is our reference angle. Second quadrant, reference angle. Third quadrant, this is the reference angle. And then quadrant 4, this is the reference angle. All the reference angle are with respect to x-axis. So use all this information, we can evaluate any big angles. For example, cosine, 18, 30 degrees. Coterminal angles, we can keep subtracting. 360 degrees, and we'll have cosine 30 degrees, which give us square root of 3 over 2. Tangent, 870 degrees. We can keep subtracting 360 degrees, we get tangent 150 degrees. As these angles falls in between 0 to 360. So tangent, we can stop. Tangent 150, second quadrant, reference angle, 30 degrees. So all students take calculus, so tangent is negative in the second quadrant. So this equals negative tangent 30 degrees, give us negative radical 3 over 3. We use coterminant angles to reduce the angle to 150 degrees. Use all students take calculus, get the sign, and use reference angles to reduce the angle again into the first quadrant. So that's why we only need to know the special angles of the first quadrant. That's it. Let's have a look at how do we evaluate trig functions of any angle. So given any angle theta, we have the Pythagorean theorem, x, y, r. R is always positive. So x squared plus y squared equals r squared. So let's have a look at cosine equals negative 5 over 2, where theta equals pi over 2 to pi. That's in the second quadrant. Theta here. Cosine equals adjacent, negative 2, 5. Use Pythagorean theorem, this will be square root of 21. So based on the definition, sine, cosine, tangent, sine of theta equals square root of 21 over 5. Cosine given. Tangent, opposite over adjacent, negative square root of 21 over 2. Cosecant, 1 over sine, so 5 square root of 21 over 21. Secant, negative 5 over 2. Cotangent, negative 2 square root of 21 over 21. Given tangent of theta equals negative 3 over 7, and theta is between 270 and 360. It's in quadrant 4, that's theta. Tangent theta, opposite over adjacent. So this will be square root of 58. So sine of theta, negative 3 square root of 58 over 58. Cosine of theta, 7 over 58 square root of 58. Tangent of theta, negative 3 over 7. So cosine, negative 7 over 3. This will be negative 58 square root of 58 over 3. And square root of 58 over 7. How to rationalize negative 3 over square root of 58? We just multiply 58 for the numerator and denominator. Get 58, negative 3, radical 58.